What is Bitcoin? And more importantly, why was it created? Bitcoin is a digital currency with no banks, no borders, no rulers. Some called it madness, others freedom. But behind every revolution lies a purpose. Stay until the end. Because this one started with crisis, rebellion, and the dream of financial liberation. To understand why, we go back to 2008. Banks were collapsing, trust evaporated, and millions lost everything. People realized their money wasn't really theirs. It belonged to a fragile system. In that chaos, one unknown mind decided it's time to rebuild trust without trusting anyone. October 31st, 2008. A user named Satoshi Nakamoto posts a message. Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. No company, no marketing, just 9 pages of pure code and vision. It wasn't about profit. It was a manifesto, a system to return control of money to the people. Bitcoin isn't a physical coin. It's a digital record inside a public book called the blockchain. Every transaction ever made is written there, open, transparent, and permanent. No central bank, no government, just a network of users keeping each other honest. But who writes in this book? Miners. All over the world, powerful computers solve complex puzzles to verify transactions. When they succeed, they add a new block to the chain and earn new Bitcoin as a reward. That's how the network stays alive and secure. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoins. That limit is written directly into the code, forever. Every 4 years, the reward miners receive is cut in half. This event is called the halving. This built-in scarcity is why Bitcoin is often called digital gold. It can't be printed, copied, or faked. Instead of trusting a bank, you trust the system itself. The blockchain verifies every transaction publicly, and thousands of miners check the math. No one can secretly change the records, not even the creator. This is what made Bitcoin revolutionary and what led to the first Genesis block. January 3rd, 2009. The first Bitcoin block is mined. Inside, Satoshi leaves a hidden message. The Times, 3rd of January 2009. Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. It's not just data, it's defiance. Bitcoin is born as protest, written forever into the blockchain. Bitcoin wasn't built to make people rich. It was built to make them free. A currency without permission, borders, or control. Its goal wasn't chaos, it was fairness. In a world where money obeyed power, Bitcoin aimed to obey math. Early miners weren't investors, they were believers. They mined for the idea, not the profit. Old computers in dusty rooms, solving blocks that no one cared about. They were the first to prove that Bitcoin wasn't just code, it was conviction. Soon, Bitcoin began trading online. Forums turned into markets. A few dollars could buy thousands of coins. Then one day, a programmer named Laszlo offered 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. He didn't just buy lunch, he made history. Laszlo spent $40 on those pizzas. Years later, that same Bitcoin would be worth hundreds of millions. But he didn't regret it. Someone had to start using it, he said. His small purchase made Bitcoin real and gave the internet its first digital economy. By 2011, Bitcoin had become a movement. Hackers, libertarians, and dreamers joined forces. They saw it not as money, but as rebellion. A silent revolution, spreading computer by computer, block by block. The internet had given birth to its own currency. Then, in 2011, Satoshi Nakamoto disappeared. No warning, no trace. He handed the project to others and vanished forever. His last words, "I've moved on to other things." Bitcoin no longer had a creator, only believers. And sometimes, that's how legends begin. As Bitcoin grew, new exchanges appeared, digital marketplaces to buy and sell. The first was Mt. Gox, created in Japan. But with growth came chaos. People traded millions online, and hackers began to see opportunity. The dream was spreading, and so was the danger. In 2014, Mt. Gox collapsed. 850,000 bitcoins were gone. People called Bitcoin a scam, a dream destroyed. But unlike a company, Bitcoin itself didn't die. The blockchain kept running, untouched, incorruptible. It wasn't a failure of Bitcoin. It was a failure of humans. Bitcoin's next chapter was darker. The Silk Road, an online black market, used it as anonymous payment. Suddenly, Bitcoin was linked to drugs, weapons, and crime. Governments panicked. What began as an idea of freedom was now a symbol of danger. News headlines exploded. Bitcoin fuels crime. Digital money for drug dealers. Governments started banning, regulating, and fearing what they couldn't control. But in every storm, Bitcoin survived because it didn't belong to anyone, and that made it unstoppable. Then came the believers. Developers rebuilt, entrepreneurs returned, and the price began to rise again. Each crash made Bitcoin stronger. Each doubt made it more famous. People realized it wasn't just a currency, it was an idea that refused to die. By 2017, Bitcoin was everywhere. From Wall Street to small towns, everyone wanted in. Some called it the future, others a bubble. But whether you believed or not, you couldn't ignore it anymore. Bitcoin had left the underground and entered the mainstream. Early believers became millionaires overnight. From teenagers to tech geeks, their wallets suddenly held fortunes. Media called them lucky. But they weren't gamblers. They were pioneers, people who saw value in what others laughed at. Then came the crashes. Every rise was followed by a fall, and the media declared Bitcoin dead again and again. But each time, it came back stronger. Because Bitcoin wasn't just a market, it was a belief system. And beliefs don't vanish with price drops. Bitcoin's strength wasn't luck. It was code, open, public, unstoppable. No government could shut it down. No CEO could delete it. It ran everywhere, owned by no one, controlled by everyone. For the first time, money was truly free. Bitcoin spread across borders faster than any technology before it. From poor villages to Wall Street, people began to understand. This was power without permission. Some saw hope, others saw threat. But everyone saw one thing. Bitcoin wasn't just a coin, it was a global idea. Then came the institutions. Banks that once mocked Bitcoin started buying it. Wall Street built funds, governments studied regulation. The rebellion had entered the boardroom. The same system Bitcoin was meant to replace was now trying to join it. Still, critics called it fake, a bubble, a scam. They said Bitcoin wastes energy, fuels crime, and has no value. Maybe they were right about the problems, but they missed the point. Bitcoin wasn't built to be perfect. It was built to be free. Soon, thousands of new coins appeared, some better, some worse. But only Bitcoin stayed truly decentralized. No CEO, no founder, no headquarters. It was the people's coin. And that's why, no matter what came next, Bitcoin remained the original rebellion. Today, Bitcoin is more than money. It's a statement that technology can challenge power. It's messy, unpredictable, and human. It changes lives, scares governments, and inspires millions. No one knows what comes next, but one thing is clear. Bitcoin is no longer a question. It's an era. Bitcoin began as an act of rebellion. It became a mirror, reflecting greed, hope, and freedom all at once. If you want to explore the world of crypto, don't chase miracles. Educate yourself, because in this world, a simple click can change a life. But only knowledge can protect your future.